I know when to go out, know when to stay in.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. My name is Rowena. I'm a physician associate at First Care Practice. We're really glad that you could join our webinar today, where we will be talking about healthy cooking and eating tips at home. Just a really quick note before we go ahead, just to let you know we may experience technical issues, so please bear with us. Hopefully this will go really smooth without any problems. We understand that the global situation at the moment is really difficult. Most people are staying at home in self-isolation, therefore now is a really important time to make sure that we're eating properly and as healthy as possible. We will be joined by our very own Maria, who will be sharing delicious, easy recipes with us, as well as top tips for healthy eating and cooking. The most important thing for us right now is to make sure we inform you as much as possible, as well as to entertain you and support you. Towards the end of the webinar, we'll have an opportunity for you to ask questions or share any stories or even top tips of your own. We also want to make this webinar as interactive as possible. So let's start with a poll. Hopefully in a few seconds, you'll be able to see a pop-up on your screen. So the question is, are you concerned about what you eat? Please select yes or no. And I'll give you a few seconds to complete that. Okay, so I've got some results and most people have replied with 100% yes, you are concerned about what you eat. So hopefully this webinar will inform you and give you more tips in regards to healthy eating. Okay, so on the screen, you should see an image about obesity statistics in the UK. Good, so why is healthy eating really important right now? So as you can see on the screen, it says nearly 25% of people in Britain, 25% of adults are obese. 62% of adults are classified as overweight. Obesity levels in the UK have more than tripled in the last 30 years, which is really, really shocking. Nearly 25% of British men and women are obese, which is the second highest rate in the world. Obesity is really becoming more prevalent in our younger generation. The UK is spending a lot of money, £48 billion a year, trying to deal with obesity. And it's predicted that by 2030, there will be 11 million more obese adults. So it's really, really shocking figures. And as we all know, there's lots of links, lots of research that's been done which show a link between obesity and having a health condition such as diabetes and heart disease. So this is really, really important. So without further ado, I will pass you on to my colleague Maria.
Hi everyone, hope you all are safe and healthy eating healthily at home. I'm Maria and I'm a healthcare assistant at the First Care Practice. Some of you must have met me during your diabetic reviews, giving lifestyle advice. Today I'm going to share with you all some healthy eating tips.
Thanks for introducing yourself, Maria. So I've got some pre-prepared questions for you, Maria.
Yes.
So the first question is, do you have any top tips about cooking with salt?
Thanks, Rowena. Yes, that's one of the salt. I'm going to speak a little bit of salt because that's one of the common ingredient we use in our diet and all of us love it. We love our food to be tasty and some like a little bit salty than the others. But most of the time we'll end up eating more than what is required. Our daily, we require just a teaspoon of salt. That is a daily requirement for good health. And we'll end up eating more than that. We don't even realize that. And sometimes there's lots of salt come in processed food. And why we are worried about this salt is basically too much can lead to a lot of problem. And that just now you were talking about obesity and lots of other disease. So Robina was talking about this, and it's like high blood pressure, stroke, kidneys. So all this complication can end up. So here these are my few tips to how to cut down your salt. The most important is to cook your own food. So basically, when you cook your own food, you really know what you're adding to your meals. So you have the full control. So by avoiding takeaways, restaurants, they can be a treat sometimes. So cook your own food, add a little bit of salt, and you are your own boss. So this is one of the tips I can give you. Second is reading the labels. Whenever you go shopping, just have a look at the labels. And normally they have the different colors. They have red, amber, and green. And try to choose ingredients which have low salt content. Another tip I can give you now, these days, most of you must be at home, working from home or at home because of all the things going on. And so we tend to snack more. And so there are lots of snacks which are high in salt, like crisp, salted nuts. So you can swap this for a better snack, a healthy snack, like a piece of fruit, a handful of nuts, which are saltless. So this is another tip I can give you regarding the salt. Another ingredients where we find a lot of salt is the sauces. Sauces contain a lot of salt, and we normally use sauces in our day-to-day snacks or food. So we can, instead of using sauces, we can make our own chutneys by using some herbs, coriander, mint, onion, tomatoes, and chilies. So we can make our own sauces, and they make chutneys, and they may taste better than with minimal salt. Also, avoid adding extra salt to your food on top of it. Just hide all the salt and pepper shakers. Instead of that, you can use herbs, cumin, some olive oil, vinegar to enhance the taste. Also, pastries and bread also can contain lots of salt, so be mindful when you're eating. Back to Ravina.
Sorry. Thanks very much, Maria, for those really helpful tips. I do have another pre-prepared question for you, and that's any top tips with cooking with oil?
Oh, yes. Oil is another other important ingredient in our food, and we all use our oil in our day-to-day cooking, especially home cooking. So why are we afraid of the oil? Oil is also a good ingredient, but there are two types of oil. There are good oils and bad oils. So we have to look at the good oils, and good oils are beneficial for our health. So I'm going to talk about the bad oils and how you can prevent these bad oils. So basically, avoid eating any deep fried foods, or deep fried food has a lot of calories, a lot of oil, so that can be harmful. One samosa gives us 200 calories in one deep fried samosa. So to get rid of these calories, we really have to work to go to the gym for an hour. Instead of that, we can swap for a better option. So in this way, we can avoid deep fried food, use low version. When you go shopping, look for semi-skim milk, cheese with low fat, or low fat yogurt. So you can avoid, and you can choose your good oils. Also, while cooking food, we instead of having oil, put oil in your pan and frying your onions and other for the gravies, you can use oil sprays. And the oil sprays they are very handy, and they are very efficient, and you use very less oil. So instead of cooking onions, you can steam the onions as well. This is what I do most of the time when I make my sauces, when I make my gravies. I use the onion in a pan, spray with little oil, and close the lid. So the onion gets cooked quite fast, and we can have a gravy with very less oil. So this is another way this is another tip how you can use less oil. Also, using stock and liquids for cooking. That's a better way. than making using a sauce. Also using non-stick pans. Non-stick pans doesn't require a lot of oil, so you can cook, you can grill your food, and it is quite efficient. So these are the various tips I can give. Also, you can grill your food, bake your food, steam your food. There are various ways you can make, and they retain the same taste. It's only that sometimes we get used to our old habits, so it's time to change and be healthy, so we can overcome this period.
Thank you so much, Maria. Now, I think you should be able to see a plate on your screen. That should be coming up in a few seconds. So, this is a plate which shows the proper portions of each food group that you should be consuming to make sure that your diet is really healthy. Maria will just, in a few words, discuss what this plate shows.
This is a nice plate. It is a Eat Well guide. It is very informative and very easy to follow. This plate shows that our diet should contain a lot of fiber, fruits and vegetables that should take a major part. Also a high fiber and low carb diet. The food which we need to avoid is the saturated fats and lean meats. That is a very small portion. We can have oily fish, eggs, oily fish. That is a quarter, but maximum should be our fruits and veggies and high fiber foods.
Thanks, Maria. And if you wanted some more information regarding that plate, there should be an NHS link in the chat box that you should be able to see on your right-hand side. Okay, Maria, so moving on, I said in the beginning that you would be sharing some really delicious, easy recipes. So can you give us a really simple recipe for breakfast that we can have?
Oh, yes, Rovina. Yeah, I can share you a very simple and a very easy recipes. It won't take you a long time. So this I'm going to share a simple recipe about omelette and toast. Breakfast is the most important meal of our day. So my recipe contains 1 small onion cut finely chopped, 1 tomato, 1 egg, 1 clove of garlic, 1 green chili. That is optional. Some herbs, a handful of herbs. Cut all the ingredients into small pieces and mix them together. Heat a pan on a high fire and just put these ingredients together. It takes just 5 to 8 minutes to get ready. And you can have this with a nice toast of brown wholemeal bread, 1 slice.
Thanks, Maria. That sounds really yummy. Now, I've got a question come through from one of the audience members.
Yes.
One has come, which is, which oil is better for frying?
It is less to use any oil. That is my first advice. Minimum oil, but olive oil or rapeseed oil will do, or vegetable oils.
Thanks, Maria. And another question is, how much salt would you recommend?
6 grams is the recommended for the.
Thanks for that, Maria. Okay, so we have come to the end of our webinar. I would really appreciate if you could complete the poll that will come up on your screen. Please be as honest as you can. We really do appreciate feedback. And hopefully we can see you really soon. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. See you soon.
Thank you.